What's up, y'all? It's that time of the year, man. Madden 24 is on the horizon. All right, we less than a week away. And so I want to do a deep dive into like franchise teams, what I would do with them in the franchise. I'm ranking them by division. So in this video, you're going to have NFC East. You can see on the screen. We're going to do NFC West as well. Which teams I think are the best franchise teams to have in the division, which ones are the worst. And what I would do if I was in a league where I got to build each team. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna jump in through that. We're gonna talk each team. I'm gonna have some things that I think you should do to be good with this team. Or you know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk through that and we're gonna go through there. All right. So NFC East, we talking franchise specifically. So regs, no traits. So I know y'all in leagues where people get traits and stuff like that. AR, not thinking about that. Just fresh league, no traits, no AR. How do you build this team to win a Super Bowl? Because that's what everybody want to do in Madden 24, right? Some of y'all won some in Madden 23. Some of y'all didn't win. I'm a firm believer that no matter what team you start with, there is a path to win a Super Bowl. And I'm thinking like in a 32-team league, not a league where you have the computer, you can make a whole bunch of trades and stuff, but like a 32-team league where you might be able to will and deal some, but there's some limits to it. You know what I'm saying? So let's jump into it. The worst team in NFC East for a franchise. The worst team in NFC East for a franchise is the Washington Commanders. All right, the Washington Commanders are the worst team for a franchise for the simple fact, for two reasons, right? Let's start with why they're the worst team in the NFC East. Now I'm going to get to the good thing about them. They don't have a quarterback. Sam Howell's a rookie, unproven. Jacoby Brissett's an older veteran, doesn't have a high rating. Let me see. I got the ratings up on my phone. Uh, where they at? Where they at? So they got Jacoby Brissett is a 72 overall. And then this is for 24, I think. I'm not 100% sure on that. And then Sam Howell is a 66 overall. So the two best quarterbacks. It's a 66 overall Sam Howell, and he's a scrambler, so that means his strong arm isn't that good. And then you got Jacoby Brissett as a 72, and he's normal dev too. Jacoby Brissett is. So if you play franchise, you know quarterback is just like in real life. Quarterback's the most important position, and with them having so low overalls, again, this league where you got to earn traits. And I'm assuming 24 is going to be more like Madden 23, where it's going to be harder to build quarterbacks. Everybody knows in Madden 22, you could get anybody as like, and Madden 21 was the worst, but even in Madden 22, because of the way escape artists worked and all that, like you can get anybody 54 overall, and you could build them into a Super Bowl winning quarterback. 23 was not like that at all. It was much harder to build quarterback. And so I'm assuming 24 is going to be like that. So with them not having a QB, that makes them the worst team in the division. So first things first, what I would do if I was the Commander is I would run the stuffing out the football and I would make games short. Like, because their strength is their defense. They might have the best defensive line in the game with Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, Chase Young, and then and Deron Payne. So out of their top 10 players on their team, I want to say Montez Sweat, one, two, three, four. All four of the defensive linemen are part of the top 10 players on their team. And then they also have, and then Chase Young and Jonathan Allen are traded. So Chase Young is a superstar. Jonathan Allen is an X factor. Deron Payne and Montez Sweat are star devs. So they're one breakout away from you having a fully traded defensive line, okay? And so I would just play a ton of defense. The way the beta played, I'm not sure. I'm not sure pass rush will be as good as it was last year, but it still will matter. And then especially when you talk about containing some of the quarterbacks, some of the scrambling quarterbacks in your division. So I think that's the biggest thing, and you'll be able to stop the run too with Jonathan Allen as an X factor. He'll be able to stop the run. Other thing too about their offense is not only do they not have a quarterback, they don't really have a ton of weapons. Like outside of Terry McLaurin, I'm looking at their roster. The Curtis Samuel is an older receiver. He's decently fast, but not super fast. And then they got B-Rob at 79 overall. I don't know if he's star dev or normal. Let me click on him and see if it could tell me. No, it didn't tell me. So yeah, I don't know if he's star dev or normal. If he's star dev, that'll be okay. And then Antonio Gibson, they dropped him. He's a 77 now. I feel like he was higher. And so he used to be star dev, and then you got Jahan Dotson, who's a receiver who's decent, but not fast, not super tall. So outside of Terry McLaurin, their offense really doesn't have much to, you know what I'm saying, smile about. Their defense is legit though. Kendall Fuller and Benjamin St-Juste are their two highest rated corners. And I like Benjamin St-Juste a lot. I wonder if they're gonna make him star dev. He was normal last year, and I'm thinking he's gonna be normal again. But if he's star dev, that'll be fire. He's a tall corner, and the way the zones and stuff we're playing, I think that'll make a huge difference. And they got Emmanuel Forbes, who's okay, but like I said, their DBs are okay. But that front four is amazing, and they have Jamin Davis, who's another speedster. He was a 90 speed linebacker last year, so their front seven is legit. You can put people in trouble with if you can play defense, you can stay in games. But if I was in a franchise building them, first thing I would be doing is trying to make sure I get a quarterback. If that's trading one of your D linemen, right? You have a surplus, maybe moving Chase Young for a early pick in a draft or for a rookie quarterback. You might be able to do something like that, right? Maybe packaging Chase Young and Howell, because that's the thing too. Especially early in franchise, people are going to want rookie quarterbacks. So maybe you can package, Chase Young and Sam Howell for Kyler Murray. You know what I'm saying? That might change your team and help you compete or way earlier, way ahead of schedule. So that's what I'm thinking with the Commanders. And so they're the worst team in the NFC East, but they are this is one of the best Madden divisions in Madden. NFC East, I feel like any user with any of these teams can compete year one. And even a decent user by year two can win a Super Bowl with all the teams in this division. So moving on to the third best team, it's the New York Giants. All right, so New York Giants are super top heavy. And what I mean by that is their best player. They have a lot of players at the top of their roster that are rated high that have abilities. But like after that, like their fifth best player is a kicker. Okay, and he's not traded. So you got Darren Waller, who is legit, is a really good pickup. Fast tight ends. Everybody knows fast tight ends eat on Madden. Matchup nightmares. They get put on safeties and linebackers, and they cook them. With man-to-man probably getting tuned down a little bit, they're probably going to be even better this year. So Darren Waller helps a lot. You got Dexter Lawrence, who's getting love. I'm almost certain he's an X-Factor or a superstar. I'm almost certain he's an X-Factor or a superstar. But he's legit. He's legit. He finished the year 94 overall. They brought him back as a 94 overall. And then you got Saquon Barkley, who you can just give the ball to. But here's the issue with the Giants is Daniel Jones is a 75 overall. I think he should be a star dev this year. So he's one breakout away, but he ain't great. And their receivers aren't great. They're all right. They have a whole bunch of receivers that aren't Madden good. What I mean about that, everybody who plays Madden knows. You want to be tall, you want to be fast. They have a whole bunch of receivers that aren't tall and aren't super fast. They got a whole bunch of 6 foot, 6'1", 92, 93, 94 speed receivers. The question is going to be what they put Jalen Hyatt's speed at. Because going into how people do rosters and stuff, going into the year where they just put people on rosters, he was like, I saw some that had him 98 speed. And so on the official Madden roster got him 93 speed. That's not fast enough to really take the top off of defenses. So I'm not sold on their receiving core. And especially when you want to build a quarterback, I don't know if Darren Waller is enough to help you build Daniel Jones. They can, but this thing about the Giants, their team is really good at every position, but nobody's great outside of those top three guys. And so what I mean by that is they have a ton of star dev players on their defensive line and their linebacking crew and their DB that are one breakout away, but they don't come with a whole bunch of ability. So that's why they're third on the list, because other two teams are Super Bowl contenders right away with no upgrades needed. This team, I think you need at least one or two upgrades. If I play with them, I would be trying to get Thibodeau to superstar and Adoree Jackson to superstar. I would really, really be trying to be intentional, trying to get them up to superstar. And then on the offensive side, I mean, it's got to be Daniel Jones, because I'm looking at your receivers. You got Paris Campbell. He's an older player now. Jameson Crowder's old. You got Wan'Dale Robinson, who's a younger player, but I'm pretty sure he's normal dev. Um, yeah, man. Jalen Hyatt's probably the guy you would want to the most. But if he's really 93 speed, it's really hard. You're gonna have to come up with some routes to get him open. He's not gonna really just beat coverage on his own. So if you want to win year one with the Giants, you play like I said with the Commanders. Except with the Giants, they have an elite running back. So you get the ball to Saquon 20 times a game, and you play defense, and you send your young guys off the edge, and that's how you play if you want to win with the Giants. I think year two, this team is one of the better teams, one of the better rosters on the game, especially if you can win some awards with some guys. If you can get a rookie of the year with Jalen Hyatt, or if you can get a linebacker of the year, you know what I'm saying, with Thibodeau, something like that. This team becomes really good really quickly. The question mark is going to be Daniel Jones. Can you play with Daniel Jones or not? In 23, I had some success with Daniel Jones, and then I also had a great team, and he just blew it. So it's gonna be up to how the game plays, of course, and then how you're able to develop your guys. But I like the Giants. I think the Giants, if you get the Giants in a franchise, I think you're in a good spot. Especially if it's a 3-5 year franchise. I think you got a shot to make some noise and win a Super Bowl with them for sure. The next team, the second best team in the NFC East, is the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, so Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl ready, point blank period. They're Super Bowl ready. They got Diggs over in the trade. They got Gilmore over in the trade. They got Trayvon Diggs. You got two superstar corners off rip, right? And then what makes them even scarier is not only do you got the two superstar corners, right? You got Michael Parsons, who's probably the best edge rusher, if not the second best edge rusher in the game. Who's on the other side of him, you have star dev DeMarcus Lawrence, who's a 90 overall, which means he's one upgrade away from having edge threat, right? Defense is legit, fam. The defense is legit. Malik Hooker is a really good safety. So is Donovan Wilson. I love Jaron Curse. If you play him down the block, I think he's 6'3", 6'4". So, they have Osa. Osa's decent at the D tackle. So, Dallas, I think their defense is by far one of the best defenses on the game. They're one of the few teams that has an elite edge rusher and elite corner. Gilmore being a little slow might, change the way you play. You might not play a ton of just straight man-on-man cover zero, but you might be able to get away with it because of Micah. So I like the Cowboys a lot. The only thing that I've always struggled with the Cowboys is I don't like Dak. And they dropped Dak from X Factor to Superstar this year, allegedly. That's what I'm seeing, is Dak is no longer X Factor. He is a superstar, and he always had low, strong arm, so he's not going to have any of the best throwing abilities. But I was looking in the beta, you don't need to pass lead or high ball as much, so it might not hurt him. But Dak, because I've always struggled with Dak. Now, the dude that's legit this year is Ceedee Lamb. They moved him up to 90 overall. He's a superstar. He's going to get open. Ceedee's going to get open. The question mark is going to be Tony Pollard. Can you get Tony Pollard to superstar? I feel like with Dak not having super high throw power, and probably not having the throwing ability, you got to be able to run the football a little bit with this team. And Tony Pollard's going to be a huge part of that. His speed he's electric, and their offensive line is fantastic. So with the game improving run blocking in 24, I think if you go, and this is the theme that I have for the NFC East up until this point, even for the next team too, is run the football. If you run the football with the Cowboys, use Ceedee Lamb in third down, mismatch situation, you're going to get money with this team because their defense is electric. It is elite, one of the best defenses on the game, no question. So if you take care of, literally like Dak in real life, if you take care of the football and you use Ceedee, make sure he gets his touches, I think you can win a Super Bowl year one, no question, with the Cowboys. You can build a dynasty, especially if you're good with Dak and you get him the X Factor for year one. This is arguably the best roster in the game. You got to use Fountain of Youth on Gilmore, though. So make sure you do that. If you have the Cowboys, use Fountain of Youth on Gilmore so you don't lose his trait. And the only thing I would be thinking about doing is maybe finding another receiver to run beside Ceedee. They do have Brandon Cooks, which they dropped his speed a little bit. I think he's 94 now. He used to be 96. I think he's 94 now. He's legit. And you got Michael Gallup, who are two serviceable receivers. But if you were able to get another superstar receiver in there, I think this team would be, top tier. And it's already top tier. I think this team would be people will struggle to beat you if you had two options, a tight end or a superstar receiver. So maybe look at moving DeMarcus Lawrence. Like I said, DeMarcus Lawrence in a pick or something like that for a receiver. I think Micah's good enough on his own to man that defensive line. And I don't think you necessarily need DeMarcus Lawrence. So that's my thoughts on the Cowboys. They are the second best team in the NFC East, but they are Super Bowl contenders right away year one. Even a decent user can win the Super Bowl year one with the Cowboys. So moving on to the best team in the NFC East is the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles are probably the best team on the game, stock, and 91 overall, which is crazy, right? I think all six of their top 7 players have traits. So they got Lane Johnson, superstar. Darius Slay, X Factor. Jason Kelsey, superstar. AJ Brown, X Factor. Hassan Reddick, superstar. Dallas Goedert is a star dev. And then Jalen Hurts is an X Factor on Madden 24, allegedly, right? And then you got Devontae Smith, who's a star dev. Jordan Mailata, star dev. James Bradbury, star dev. Josh Sweat, star dev. They are loaded. DeAndre Swift is a star dev player. They are absolutely. And then you got Fletcher Cox, who's a superstar. And I didn't even talk about Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, who I think they're both superstars. So, I think Jalen Carter might got star. I think they played him. But, they're loaded. Eagles are loaded. I mean, for real, for real. Jalen Hurts going up to X Factor makes this the best team in the game. That was the only thing that kind of held him back last year. Is Jalen Hurts didn't have no throwing ability, and it kind of took some doing to upgrade him. Wide receiver core has everything you want in a wide receiver core. You got AJ Brown, who's a big physical receiver. He's not tall, but he's like Debo, where he mosses people and he breaks tackles, and he's an X Factor. And then you have Devontae Smith, who's an excellent route runner, who I think 24 will favor him even more than 23. I don't think you'll need wide receiver abilities to get open and against man like you did in 23 and 24. So I think Devontae Smith will fry majority, especially if you got second and third corners on him. I think he's going to fry him. And then you got Quez, which everybody knows Quez Watkins is a Madden celebrity. 97, 98 speed, depending on the year. You don't have safety help, it will get ugly. And then on the defensive side, they don't got the holes. They got edge rushers, they got linebackers, they got corners. Everything you need, they got safeties. Everything you want on defense, they have. And I think their best group is the offensive line. 2 superstars on the offensive line, probably a Hall of Fame center, a Hall of Fame tackle, with star dev linemen around them, with Jordan Mailata, star dev, Landon Dickerson, star dev. So everybody on their line is 82 and up. Best offensive line in real life and on the game. You can air the ball out with Hurts being an X Factor, or you could tote the rock and run like the Eagles do, run a QB, read option, ground and pound game. And they're going to dominate. With linemen getting to the second level, you put nasty streak on Kelsey, you put nasty streak on Johnson, and people come out in dollar, coming out in 3.35 nickel or quarter, and you are going to, it's going to be a lot of dudes getting pancaked, and you're going to be laughing your way to the Super Bowl. So they played in the Super Bowl last year for a reason. This team is Super Bowl ready. If you get the Eagles, if you're at least decent, you should be playing in an NFC Championship game at least. You know what I'm saying? That should be your goal. That should be where you are with the Eagles, all right? Moving on to the NFC West, all right? NFC West is an interesting division. It's a really interesting division, right? So the worst team in the NFC West is the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals are horrible, all right? Especially if they trade Budda Baker. As of now, today, this is August 9th, I think. Budda Baker is on the team, okay? So I'm acting as if Budda Baker's on the team. They have the best safety duo in the game. With Budda Baker and Isaiah Simmons, both traded. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Isaiah Simmons is a star there. But, on Madden, he played like a superstar, right? Everybody knows. Everybody knows Isaiah Simmons played like a superstar. So I think they got the best safety duo on the game. But outside of that, nothing. They dropped Kyler even more. Kyler's a 79 overall now, superstar, and he's older. It's going to take some work to get Kyler, to be an elite quarterback. And the problem is you don't got no receiver to throw to. Like you got Hollywood, who's an 84 overall, elite speed. But after that, you got Zach Ertz, who's old as heck. You got Rondell Moore, who's not fast and not tall. Um, I'm looking, and then you got Zach Pascal, Greg Dortch. You know what I'm saying? Like your receiving core is not good. Your offensive line is not good. Your running back, you got James Conner. I don't like James Conner. I actually despise James Conner on Madden. In real life, I got nothing against him in real life. I don't think he's good on Madden. And you're terrible in the trenches. So your offensive line and your defensive line are not good. Paris Johnson Jr., he's one of those guys who I'm almost certain to start there. But he has terrible pass blocking. So even in a league where you get traits or whatever, his pass blocking is like 10 below his overall. And so it'll take him forever to get edge protector or secure protector, the abilities you want on an elite lineman. He don't got them, and he ain't about to get them soon. So if I got the Cardinals, I would be trading Kyler. So I would be my first year. I would trade Kyler for a high draft pick, and I would be trying to win games. I don't know how to tank. I ain't gonna lie to you. Some people are good at tanking. I'm not good at tanking. I'm competitive. I hate losing. But I would trade Kyler for a team that's losing. And I would just start from scratch. I would probably trade Kyler, and I would probably trade That's it. I would trade Kyler for sure, though. You can get a bag for Kyler. People forget. People still remember Kyler from like Madden 22 when he was like just as good as everybody else, and so you can still get a bag for Kyler. So I would trade Kyler for a pick. And I'm just gonna play my backup quarterback. Like, and we're gonna be in the what's that dude? Caleb Williams. We're gonna be the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. I'm trying to get the number 1 overall pick because I think if they got an elite quarterback, they would be okay because quarterback just means that much on Madden. But yeah, I would be trying to trade Kyler for a running back and a pick, and I'll run the football and do my best. If I lose, great. If I win, you know what I'm saying? Not supposed to do that. And I'm trying to get Isaiah Simmons up to superstar, and that's my whole first year. Second year, third year. By third year, I think with this team you can compete. They have cap room. They do have some young players that should develop, like Isaiah Simmons, like Paris Johnson Jr., like not DJ Humphries, Rondell Moore, right? Like you got some guys that should get better, but it's just you gotta hope you gotta do the work to get them there. Because right now I think this is maybe the worst team in the NFC at least. In the NFC at least, I think this is the worst team. I got to think about the AFC. I'm not sure if this is the worst team in the AFC. But this is the worst team in the division. Moving on to the third team, Los Angeles Rams. This is the third best team in the division. And the only reason they're better than Cardinals is they have 299 overall. I think Cooper Kupp is not a 99 anymore. I'm sorry. But he's close. I think he's a 98. Let me see. Yeah, Cooper Kupp's a 96. So they got a 99 and 96 overall, both X Factor. After that, they suck. But Cooper Kupp is good enough. He's going to get open every single time. Aaron Donald's good enough to where they have to double team him or he will wreak havoc. That being said, the reason I have them better than the Cardinals is I think you get the Rams, you wait until week 7 or 8, and you move Donald and Kupp. And the reason I say you move both of them is they both get a bag back. And so you move Donald for a young edge rusher. He don't got to be traded, and a couple picks. You move Cooper Kupp for a young receiver. Don't got to be traded, and a couple picks. So then you go into the next season. That's the thing about the Rams, too. You got to remember. They don't have picks because of the Von Miller trade. So you have to go get some picks. But what they do have because they traded Jalen Ramsey is they have money. And so you go get 4 picks for these 2 guys, and you have some money in the offseason, and you will be fine year 2. Year 3 at least. You'll be good. And I think that's the model because Matt Stafford is old now. And they dropped him down to a 75 because of his injury, because of all the injuries he had last season. But I just know, like, Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald aren't good enough to win Madden. It's not 2K where 2 players are good enough. You got to have way more than that. And so I'm moving both of them. Aaron Donald's still, he's in the 99 club. He's still young enough to go get you a bag. So, for example, I'm the Rams. I would trade Aaron Donald for Kayvon Thibodeau and a first round pick. That would be a trade I would do for Donald. Kupp. I'll trade Kupp for I don't know. Oh, like somebody with the Colts. Like they need a receiver, right? I'll trade Cooper Kupp for I'll do Michael Pittman, a first and a second, and you can have Cooper Kupp. And now I got 3 picks, and I got two young players that are star devs that I could develop. That's what I would be looking at doing with the Rams if I had them in the franchise. You got to get a quarterback. I would play Spencer Bennett. What is his overall? He is a shoot. What is he? Did I miss? I had to miss him. Let me see. I'm looking at the ratings right now. Stafford's a 75. Oh, they did Bennett scanless. I might not play him. Oh, they did him scanless. Where is he? I don't. Oh, Stetson. I said Spencer. Stetson. He's at 62 overall. I might play him just see what I got. But you need a quarterback. You need everything on the Rams. So you need to try to get picks, free up your money, and that'd be the way to go. The Rams on a rebuild. Moving on to the Seattle Seahawks. Okay, this team is interesting. They have the 2 unicorns. And so what I mean by that, they got DK, 6'4", 95 speed, 96 speed. They got Tariq Woolen, 6'4". I think they got him at 98, 97 speed. You don't throw at Tariq Woolen, you don't single cover DK. They can single-handedly win games. They unlike Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald, them 2 guys can win games. And I like Seattle. They've got weapons on offense. Kenneth Walker III is like that. Kenneth Walker III, he's like that. And they gave him some love in his overall. I'm almost certain, and I know he's star dev, and they got him at 87 overall. So if you get him to superstar, he already has 2 abilities. And the cool thing about DK and Tariq Woolen's a superstar too now. He's 83 overall, 2 upgrades away from having 2 abilities. DK's 88 overall, X Factor. A cool thing about them is they're not even the best players on the team. You got Bobby Wagner, who I think is going to be a problem on this year's star dev. They dropped his trade, but he's still 89 overall. And then you got Tyler Lockett, who, like I said about Devontae Smith earlier, with man not being as good, I think he's going to cook. Everybody every year says he's the most disrespected receiver on the game. Think about that. He's rated higher overall than DK and doesn't have an ability. He's almost always, I think for the last 3 or 4 years, he's been the highest rated non-ability receiver. But if you get him a superstar, lights out. Now you got DK on one side, superstar Tyler Lockett on the other side. He already has 2 abilities. It'll be like that. Jamal Adams has a superstar. He's legit. 2 abilities. You got Jordan Brooks, who I love. I love Jordan Brooks. Also, you got Julian Love, who's a really good superstar, a really good safety. Then you got Noah Fant, who's also a fast tight end. So, you got weapons on offense and defense with the Seahawks. They also went and got Devin Bush, who struggled a lot in real life, but on Madden can actually make some noise because of his speed. You can use him, you can blitz him. He's actually a decent Madden linebacker. The question mark with the Seahawks is just Geno. Geno's an 81 overall star dev quarterback. I think he's 30 plus. I know he's on the other side of 30. Can you get him the superstar and X Factor? Or can you win if you don't? And that depends on the user. That depends on your play style, what you need from your quarterback. And so that's kind of a personal thing. I think I could win with Geno, but it's because I would play super balanced with them. I would try to get Kenneth Walker the third to superstar. That would be my first thing I would do. Is try to get K9 a superstar, and I'm just gonna make you play the run and then play DK 1-on-1, and that would be my offense. And then defensively, the only issue on defense is outside of Tariq Woolen, they do not really have a corner that I would trust on the island. So they have Devon Witherspoon, I'm not a big fan of. Oh, and I forgot about Jackson Smith and Jiba. Their receiver core is legit. They don't have another corner. Kobe Bryant, man. You know what I'm saying? They ain't really got no other corners that I think. But the thing is, with Woolen, he's a zone corner anyway. And so you're not really supposed to put him in man. You want to put him in man because it's height and speed, but he's really a zone corner. So if you put him in zones with around the rest of guys in good zones and stuff, I think their defense is good enough to let you win with offense. Okay, now that's why they're the second best team in the NFC West to me. The best team in the NFC West and arguably the NFC. I think the Eagles are better than them just because of Jalen Hurts. But this team is fire. They got versatility on offense galore. They got running back. They have a good running back, and a elite running back. I'm sorry, a CMC. They have elite receiver and Debo, an elite tight end, and with George Kittle. They got Brandon Ayuk, who's a really good receiver. He's in that Tyler Lockett category where he's highly rated but not traded. Then they have who's the other running back that I'm thinking of? The Elijah Mitchell, who's legit, right? I love their offense. They got Trent Williams, Hall of Fame left tackle, best tackle in the game. The thing that makes them really special too is their defense. They got Kyle Juszczyk. So I was watching the beta. I was just watching not the beta, the EA Sports stream when they had Clef and the belt winner. What is his name? Dez. And Clef and Dez was playing. The way blocking was working, superstar linemen are going to mean even more. They already meant a lot, but they really meant a lot so you can stop the pass rush. But the way that guys get to the second level, having a Trent Williams on your team, is going to mean so much because he is going to destroy defenders as he run blocks. And so I think that's something super important to remember, and what makes this team really, really good. On defense, they have elite stars at every level. And I do mean elite. And so they have Nick Bosa, literally the reigning defensive player of the year. 98, they did him scandalous. He'll be in the 99 club before the year's over, right? They got Fred Warner, who I think Fred Warner, honestly, is my favorite player to use on Madden. He plays the run like a elite linebacker he is, but he plays passes like an elite superstar. I use Fred Warner as my user. I drop him in coverage on his own, man, zone. Like, I love Fred Warner. I had seasons of 23, and this is when everybody's complaining about linebackers not animating. And I think I won 4 defensive player of the years with Fred Warner last year in Madden 23. Like, he is legit. He animates, he's fast, he's instinctive, all the things you want in a superstar linebacker. He earned that 96 rating. I think you can get him to 99 overall easy with this. And that's the thing that makes the Niners scary. After year 1, you could have 5 or 6 99 overall players easily, which is crazy to even think about, right? The question mark is who you gonna play at quarterback. And not to mention the last guy, you might not, that's Hufanga. I love Hufanga. Star Dev, they showed him some love. 86 overall. He was arguably the best safety in the league last year. I think the sky is the limit for him. You get him one trait, and he turns into Troy Polamalu. He is really like that. Super instinctive, hits, plays the ball when it's in the air. I loved Hufanga. I thought they did him scandalous all of 23 with his rating. He was normal dead. I think they finally showed him some love, and I'm happy about that. The question mark on defense with the Niners, the only question mark you got is cornerback. Travarius Ward is like that, but he's not traded. He's 87 overall, though. He's good. But then outside of Travarius, your next best corner is Isaiah Oliver, and then you got Demodore Lenore. They're just average corners. But with your pass rush and your safeties, I think you're good. The question is, do you play Brock Purdy, who's a 73 overall? I'm assuming they're going to have him star dev. Or do you play Trey Lance, who's a 71 overall, who is star dev? So, who I know star dev. So, that's going to be the question. I don't know who I would play. I really don't. I would have to look at their passing stats to see. Last year, I would have played Trey Lance, no question. I played Trey Lance when I had the 49ers. That's because I like to run a read option scheme, and his speed and his size worked for that. But I will say he was limited as a thrower. And so if Brock Purdy's speed is close and he's a much better passer, you might go with Brock Purdy, just like they're doing in real life. And so y'all let me know your thoughts. Who would you rearrange? Who are you looking forward to? Are you in any leagues already where you already have your team picked? If so, are my commissioners? I know a lot of commissioners. I'm running a league. I pick my team first. Which team would you pick? If you could pick any of the teams in the NFC East or NFC West, what team would you pick and why? Drop a comment. Can't wait to see y'all tomorrow. I think tomorrow I'm going to go over the rest of the NFC. So we have the North and the South. And then we're going to go over the AFC. And we're ready for 24, man. It's going to be a fun year. I'm loving the gameplay I'm watching. And I'm super excited about franchise. I'm already in 10, 11 franchises, so I'm excited. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get better. I'm ready to win some money. Last year, I think I only won one money league. I'm trying to win at least 3, 4, 5 Super Bowls. It's hard, but I'm excited to do it. And I'm looking forward to it. So drop a comment, subscribe if you're new. Make sure you hit that like button, and I appreciate you watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.